Gang, gang. Listen, I just watched a video from a YouTuber named WhisperWire. And bro, I'm surprised. Like, I'm really surprised this hasn't gone viral yet. Because according to his inside sources, Michael Jordan and Rich Paul came face to face at an exclusive VIP charity event last month. What? Do you understand? That's viral, bro. That needs to go viral. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall. Because apparently Jordan backed Rich Paul down. And he was there looking like an idiot. Now listen, we don't have cameras. We don't have no audio. We don't have no corroboration by anybody else. But on God, pray that this story is real. Because Rich Paul and LeBron have been out here like wild dogs, spreading lies disguised as interesting tales about Jordan and Kobe's legacy. And nobody with a powerful enough voice has stepped in, right? Because all of these, your favorite media people, they soft and they goofy. And you know what? They are afraid. All of these basketball players, former with podcasts and all this other shit, they know what it is. But you know what? Them too, right? They're scared to talk about LeBron in any kind of negative light or hold him accountable for shit. They soft until now. Nobody with a powerful enough voice has stepped up and said, you know what, enough of this shit. But the GOAT has spoken. The GOAT pressed Rich Paul and gave him a warning shot. But y'all gotta hear how WhisperWire breaks it down. I can't even attempt to do it like he did. So what I did was I downloaded this video and I'm breaking it. We're gonna watch it and I'm gonna break it down as we go along. But honestly, like, yo, this is crazy. WhisperWire broke this down to the core, to the point where LeBron goblins, y'all can't escape this one. Yo, go to his channel, WhisperWire's channel, check him out, and make sure you let him know in your face who sent you. Now, get your popcorn, get your nachos, fam, because we are about to go in. Flats. Check this out.
Imagine stepping into a locked-down VIP lounge where only the ultra-elite even get a glance inside. Music shaking the walls, drinks everywhere, pure chaos energy. And then suddenly, everything freezes dead silent. Every head turns because Michael Jordan is standing inches from Rich Paul's face, and trust me, there's zero smile involved here. This wasn't some friendly meet and greet or business handshake. MJ's hand is gripping Rich's shoulder tight, like he might pin him straight through the wall, and that look on his face, the same cold stare he had before, shutting down the Pistons in '91. This was the GOAT hitting his limit with the guy who's been poking at his legacy for over a decade. Rich Paul looked like he wanted to disappear, because all that podcast talk and whiteboard logic doesn't matter when the real god of basketball is breathing right in your space. And just wait until you hear the wild stuff Rich has been saying about MJ. Behind the scenes, things have been getting ugly. From trying to connect MJ to the crack epidemic to boldly claiming MJ isn't the greatest player ever, Rich has been throwing shots that go way past basketball debate. If you think the GOAT conversation has just been about rings and stats, you've missed the real battle happening off camera. There's been a clear, organized push by Clutch Sports to rewrite history before LeBron James officially steps away from the game. And honestly, it's starting to feel desperate. To understand why Michael Jordan was basically ready to crash a Miami gala to confront Rich Paul, you've got to look at the noise Rich has been pumping into the culture for years. It really kicked off with that Platinum Antlers take back in 2023. Rich sat on a podcast and claimed LeBron's road was harder because he had to chase Jordan's shadow straight out of high school.
But I just...
Are you fucking kidding me? LeBron's road was harder because he had to chase Jordan's shadow when nobody told his dumbass to take the number 23. That was like sacrilegious. You put the pressure on yourself if you're going to take the man's number. Yes? I told y'all before in another video. When we was playing, if we saw another player with the number 23, fam, you better have been nice. You better have been nice, because if you wasn't, yo, you might have got smacked up for that, just on the strength.
Just think, LeBron's antlers is in platinum and Michael's may be in gold. Why? Because when you think about, he had to be compared to Mike. Who did Mike have to be compared to?
Talk about it. Think about that for a second. That's some
Talk about it. Rashard McCants, are you stupid or dumb? Talk about it? Really? Like you don't know basketball history, fam? Oh my God.
serious spin. He's trying to sell the idea that carrying expectations is tougher than actually dominating every opponent in front of you for 15 straight years. Like calling yourself the chosen one on a magazine cover is heavier than surviving nightly beatdowns from the bad boy Pistons. That's wild logic. This is straight corporate playbook behavior. If you can't touch MJ's 6-0 finals record, you try to make that record feel less impressive. But things got way darker on January 6th when Rich Paul jumped on the Max Kellerman podcast and dropped one of the strangest takes anyone's ever heard. He pulled out a whiteboard and tried to explain why the Jordan brand exploded globally, but instead of crediting 6 championships or MJ's sharp business vision, he blamed it on the crack epidemic. No exaggeration. Rich actually claimed the Jordan legacy wasn't built on basketball greatness, but on 80s and 90s street culture obsessed with status and chaos.
These people.
All right, so I want you to pause for a second and just think about that. We grew up on Mike, wanting to be like him, wanting to wear his shoes, because of the winner and what we saw in front of us and what our eyes took. Now, mind you, LeBron tries to give credit and say, yo, Mike is my favorite player, So he felt some of those same emotions, maybe not as raw as some of us that are a little bit older than him, but you get the picture. Yet, you allow your freaking agent to go on somebody's podcast and to tell the world that, hey, you know, the sneaker phenomenon was because of drug dealers and rich white boys. What? Yep.
People had basically not even careers or high-paying jobs. They just had hustles. Mm-hmm. So now when you bring forth the crack epidemic, it created a revenue stream amongst a group of consumers that, number one, would have never had that dollar to spend.
He said, and this is a direct quote.
And yo, I gotta say this, man. Max, I still love Max, but I lost an ounce of respect for you with this one, because you sitting there like a dodo bird. And if anybody that knows Max, his IQ, Max is highly intelligent, and he's not ignorant to the streets or logic or anything of the sorts. So Max knows better. And for him to sit there like, oh, this is an incredible revelation, Rich. Like, you really hitting me with something deep. And are you serious, bruh? Jesus Christ.
Quote, people didn't buy MJS because they wanted to be like Mike. They wanted to be like Max, who had the BMW and the cute girl.
And you used me as an example because I was sitting in front of you. You said, it's not that Michael Jordan did this, it's that the influencer who had the BMW or whatever, you said, like Max with the fly girl and the BMW. So you're saying
what
that
I was saying was the hustler.
That's him straight up clowning MJ fans as shallow. He pushed the idea that the most iconic athlete ever was just a right place, right time guy riding a cultural wave. He even tried saying Martin Lawrence and Will Smith did more for the sneakers than Jordan himself. That wasn't analysis. That was a direct shot at the soul of the Jordan brand. MJ built a $4 billion empire off excellence, discipline, and dominance. And Rich Paul went on a full media run suggesting
excellence, discipline, and dominance. Exactly. So what the f you sitting there talking about, Rich? And then the people that he's telling this shit to, You're sitting there eating it. Nobody's pushing back. Nobody's giving them the business.
It was all just timing and trend chasing. That moment, that's when the quiet version of Michael Jordan disappeared. You don't get to disrespect a man's fans and his life's work just to lift your client higher. Anyone who knows MJ knows two things are off limits: his legacy and the people who supported it. Rich went after both. Rich isn't just an agent. He's the mastermind behind LeBron's brand strategy. And he knows that to elevate his guy, he has to tear down the standard. That's why he keeps digging into.
To elevate his guy, he has to tear down the standard. Do you understand? Hey, rings don't matter. I never created super teams. If I didn't go to Miami, I would have still did what I. Do you get it? Are y'all seeing a pattern? He has to tear down the standard. 6-0 doesn't matter. It's not about rings. It's not about this. It's not about that. Everything that Jordan accomplished, it's like Jesus Christ and the devil. Think about it. Think about it.
The 80s for excuses, claiming MJ benefited from less media noise. He even used timing like a weapon, hinting that if LeBron played in 1988, he'd be the one with the $4 billion brand. But that ignores one huge fact. MJ had to invent the global superstar blueprint from scratch. Before him, NBA players were just guys in short shorts. And after him, everything changed. After MJ.
All right, I don't totally agree with that because Dr. J had a sneaker. I think Larry might have had a sneaker. Magic might. I think they were wearing Converse or something of that nature, if I'm not sure. So those had their own sneakers, or they was getting sneaker deals, but nothing like this dude. And you know why? Nothing like this dude. Because you never seen a player like this before. Yes, we saw Dr. J, Connie Hawkins, and all of these other greats, but you never seen this package like this. It was another level, bro. It's another level.
Players weren't just stars anymore, they were gods. Rich tried to spin that as cultural synergy, but let's be real. That's just a slick way to downplay the work Jordan put in to change the world. He even tried saying MJ's business success only came from understanding royalties, like that somehow cheapens the legacy. Nah, that actually makes MJ smarter than everybody else, including the guy Rich represents today. Yeah, LeBron. And here's where it gets straight up manipulative. Rich pushed the idea that MJ had it easy, that his legacy was inflated because he played before the nonstop 24/7 news cycle. And he didn't stop there. He claimed social media would have exposed MJ's bad games, which is wild coming from a man who's known for carefully steering media narratives in his client's favor. The irony is loud. The same guy who knows how to pull strings behind the scenes suddenly acting like MJ had a free ride. That's when the play became obvious. Then Rich went even further and claimed MJ was protected by critics like Peter Vexi, acting like 90s media was just cheerleading. Anyone who actually lived through that era knows that's nonsense. MJ was criticized, questioned, and doubted constantly.
That's a whole nother thing that.
Bro, you had to be there. He was a ball hog. He couldn't shoot. What else do I remember? He's selfish. He's not a team player. What other? And he's not a winner. What? Yo, they used to drag Mike, drag him. Yeah, bugging.
Mike never had to deal with because his hardest critic was probably Peter Vessey.
Yep. Straight up.
You see what I'm saying?
You see?
And those two clients. See, you know what it is too, guys? These ignorant dudes, they go on podcasts with ignorant people. Gilbert Arenas, his son is nice, by the way, but Gilbert Arenas is ignorant. That the kid with the dude with his hat backwards, I can't stand that dude because he's like a big stale loaf of bread. Like, what are you even there for? You just open your mouth and put whatever Frank is available, you put it in your mouth. That dude is soft. Like, it's like nobody has their own, it's no pushback. Clowns.
The pattern now. Every time Rich talks, he drops another excuse into the mix. If it's not MJ was lucky with timing, then it's MJ was shaped by the hood, or MJ had it easier. It's a slow drip strategy meant to weaken the foundation of Michael Jordan's legend over time. The end goal is clear. So when LeBron retires, the switch feels smooth, like it was always meant to happen. But Michael Jordan spent his whole life reading defenses and spotting traps. He saw this one coming from a mile away. So when MJ grabbed that shoulder in Miami, it wasn't just anger, it was a warning, a reminder that you can buy podcasts, control narratives, and show up with all the whiteboards you want. But you can't buy what people felt watching him dominate in '98. And trust this, when we really break down MJ's numbers from that era, the truth is way scarier than the myth. If you think that moment at the charity event was just a quick hallway exchange, you're not ready for what actually went down. Word inside the league says MJ made a move that could leave LeBron without a single strong ally in the league office. It all happened at a charity event inside a locked down VIP lounge in Miami. January night, bass hitting your chest, music rattling your teeth. The room was packed with NBA legends and Hollywood power players. I'm talking the top tier of the top tier. But the second MJ stepped into Rich Paul's space, that polished Hollywood shield cracked instantly. Rich Paul is used to being untouchable. He's the chess master, the guy who moves pieces quietly and hides behind polished statements. But MJ is pure instinct. No scripts, no handlers. According to insiders close to the situation, Michael never raised his voice. He didn't need to. He stood there, unlit cigar in hand, looking at Rich like it was back in Akron when nothing was promised and everything was earned. MJ leaned in and delivered the line that sent a shockwave through the entire lounge. You can buy the media, you can buy the shoes, but you don't get to buy my history with one sentence. That one line wiped out years of spin. Everything Rich spent 15 years building got brushed aside in seconds. Witnesses say Rich stood frozen, drink in hand, looking like he wanted the floor to swallow him. He's used to dealing with owners and executives who play the corporate game, but Jordan doesn't play that game, and MJ wasn't finished. He leaned in closer and dropped the final message. You don't get to rewrite my life because you can't sell yours. That wasn't just a moment.
Woo! You don't get to rewrite my life because you can't sell yours. Jesus Christ. That's exactly what's happening. And it kills me because I read the comments, and for the LeBron supporters, some of these people seem very intelligent. I'm gonna give them that. But then their logic and all of that goes out the door when they start defending this clown, man. And they start making these excuses and straying away from the topic. It's like, yo, bro, what are you talking about right now? You're not even talking about the point. You off to some other shit because you're so thirsty to try to win the argument or win the argument in some capacity. You can't, because this dude, your king, is a cornball. You can't.
That was a power move, the kind that shuts down an entire strategy in one breath. MJ basically made it clear without yelling a single word. If LeBron's story was really better than mine, you wouldn't need to spend every podcast tearing me down. And let's be honest.
Woo! Mic drop. Mic drop. Oh shit. That was amazing. Mic drop. Say no more. Let's keep going.
Honest, that wasn't a lie at all. Jordan finally released Rich's shoulder, took a slow pull from his cigar, and walked off like the king he's always been. No rant, no scene, just dominance. But if you think MJ stopped right there, then you clearly don't understand the black cat mentality. While Rich was still trying to gather himself, MJ was already moving in silence. Word is he made a call that could leave LeBron without a single strong ally in the league office before his retirement tour even begins. And don't get it twisted, this didn't all come just from Rich Paul. LeBron himself has been playing a quieter, more passive-aggressive game for years. He won't say it straight to MJ's face.
Yo, that's facts. That's facts. And it's these little things that make me sour on the dude. Because when he was in high school, yeah, I was a believer. I was a believer. I wanted to see this prodigy, what he was going to do. I wanted to see something greater than what I experienced with Jordan and Kobe. You feel me? I was excited. I was giving him every chance in the world. Are you serious? But it's behaviors like this, the passive aggressiveness. You calling Jordan your hero, but yet you taking shots at him. Yo, this dude is a cornball, fam. This dude is a cornball. And I can't believe y'all dudes that support him, y'all are cornballs too. I'm gonna straight up tell it to you. What? Come at me. I want all that smoke.
But the little shots have been there for a long time. It became obvious after the 2016 finals comeback. Everyone remembers that clip from More Than an Athlete, where LeBron looked right into the camera and called himself the greatest player of all time.
That one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For so many reasons.
That moment.
Look at his little lapdog. For so many reasons. Shut the fuck up. Yo, these dudes, I don't care how much bread you got, your status, and your head, because the people, this is how we look at you. You're a cornball. You're a goofy. Facts.
Moment rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Jordan played 15 seasons, won 6 championships, and never once had to tell the world who he was. He didn't self-crown. He showed up and took it. By declaring himself the GOAT, LeBron wasn't lifting himself up. He was quietly pushing Jordan to number 2. That move didn't feel confident. It felt insecure. That's the kind of thing you say when you know the world isn't fully sold yet. Then came the ghost.
That's why your man is talking about, give me my damn respect. Nah, bro. You got to get that out the mud on the court. And all of these little shenanigans, this is the reason why nobody respects you, fam. And you dummies in the comments talk about, oh, look what he did since high school. Young black kid and all of this other foolishness. And everything he has done off the court, which is really not that impressive because his school is failing. All type of shit. But a lot of these things have nothing to do with basketball. You ever notice that? When we talk about basketball, he falls short. I'm sorry, y'all. Then I hear this, oh, he's the complete player. You never seen anything like that. How is he the complete player? And your man sucks on defense. 5 first-team defensive selections in 23 years. Miss me. You ain't better than Kobe.
Comment. In a 2016 Sports Illustrated interview, LeBron said his biggest motivation was this ghost, the ghost that played in Chicago. On the surface, that sounds respectful, but look closer. A ghost isn't real. It's a shadow, a story, something people talk about more than they actually see. Framing MJ as a ghost turns his legacy into something distant, like an old legend instead of a real force that actually happened.
Yo, do y'all understand what the man is saying? And he ain't never lie. Because I thought that ghost comment at first, it does. On the surface, it seems like, you know MJ is retired. So to say, yeah, I'm chasing that ghost of Chicago. It's like the greatness that was in Chicago at one time, but he's not there anymore. But with I can't remember his name, Whisper, what he just said, yo, that's deep. And it makes sense. It makes sense.
That's a classic clutch style move. Turn the 90s into a fairy tale era, so today feels more legitimate. Make LeBron's long career feel more grounded while Jordan's dominance sounds like mythology. And don't worry, we'll be breaking down that longevity talk with real numbers very soon. If you want proof that MJ sees through all of this, just Michael Jordan isn't some disconnected billionaire relaxing on a golf course. He's a competitor to the core. He takes things personally. When people he supported start throwing shots at his legacy, that's a message to the entire league. Choose your side, but don't expect to wear the king's shoes while trying to take his crown. The wildest part of all this is LeBron trying to play the I'm just a fan angle. In his March 2025 interview on the Pat McAfee Show, LeBron admitted that he and MJ don't talk.
Who, me and Michael?
Jordan?
Yeah, we're a good spot. We don't talk.
He tried to frame it as focus on the craft, saying he hopes they'll connect more after retirement. But let's keep it real. MJ only speaks with people he truly respects. If Jordan isn't...
And that's facts. That's why he loved Kobe. And I did a video on earn versus giving. Because Jordan doesn't respect LeBron. Kobe doesn't respect LeBron. All these other goofies, they're the only ones that have us. And you know what? To be honest, I think 75% of these dudes really don't respect him. They tolerate him. They know he can open doors. These dudes that are retired, they down on their luck. They done blew their money, messed up their bread. So LeBron is in power, right? Well, you know what? I could get on his team if I start saying that he's the GOAT and he's better than Jordan. Classic shit. And you know what's crazy? You idiots that support this dude, you sit there and eat this shit. Yum, yum, yum. Like, oh my God, like Pac-Man. You're sitting there eating this garbage.
picking up the phone is because he sees through the image. MJ stays untouchable for a reason. Opening that door would just give the machine more footage for the next documentary. Remember how Rich Paul keeps bringing up LeBron's 23 seasons? There's a reason for that. Longevity is the selling point because once you talk about peak, things change fast. When you look at a player at their absolute highest level, when the game bends around them, LeBron isn't just behind Jordan. He's not even in the same airspace.
Do you understand that part? Peak versus longevity. It's not even close. It's light years. You know what a light year is? Multiple light years. Difference between Jordan and this guy. That's a fact.
Rich wants you focused on total points, total games, total seasons. Why? Because accumulation is the only category where LeBron wins. But in Jordan's...
Woo! Accumulation is the only category where LeBron wins. And boy, has that mofo leaned into it. I'm serious. I think this dude is going to play for 25 years, bro. I think that's what he's pushing for, a quarter of a century.
World, and in the eyes of real hoopers, it's never been about how long you stayed on the court. It's about what you did to the man standing across from you. Let's talk about 1988, one of the most terrifying seasons in basketball history. Michael Jordan didn't just win MVP, he also won Defensive Player of the Year while leading the league in scoring at 35 points per game. That means he was the best offensive player on earth and the most dangerous defender at the exact same time. That's not long.
I want you to peep something, right? I had to stop it, and I'm sorry, but I got to get this off so that y'all understand. 35 points a game, where he might have took 1-3 a game, the most 2, right? In an era where the defense was ridiculous. Nobody can average 35 points now. The only person who I saw do it really was Kobe for a stretch, I think for a season. Mike's highest average was 37. Where he didn't take 3-pointers. How do you think LeBron got the scoring record? He shot over 2,000 more 3-pointers. Kareem took 1 3-pointer in his career. Yo, y'all can miss me, bro. Y'all can miss me.
Longevity. That's dominance at its absolute peak. That same season, MJ led the entire league in steals at 3.16 per game and was swatting shots like a power forward. Now line that up with LeBron's 23-season resume. 0 Defensive Player of the Year awards, none.
Woo!
He chased that level of dominance for over 2 decades and never touched it once.
Talk
the
about
closest
it, man.
LeBron came was in 2013 when he lost the award to Marc Gasol. And Clutch has spent years crying snub, but the facts don't back that up. Gasol anchored the best defense in the league that year and had the numbers to prove it. Now look at the bigger picture. In just 15 seasons, Michael Jordan made first team all-defense 9 times. LeBron 5 times in 23 years. That's not a debate. That's separation. That's the difference between a guy.
And y'all idiots that call him the most complete player ever, y'all want to come to me? Y'all want to come at me? Talking about this guy is the most complete player. How? Because he averages points, rebounds, and assists at a decent clip, but your man can't play defense. It's harder to be the most prolific offensive force, as well as the strongest defensive presence. Are you serious? Have you ever played ball? Do you know the energy that it takes just to do that, just to excel on one side of the ball, but both? Y'all are dumb. My bad, not dumb. Ignorant.
Who can play defense and a guy who exists to break your will on both ends of the floor. And don't even get me started on scoring. MJ won 10 scoring titles in 11 full seasons with the Bulls. LeBron has one in 23 years. One. But here's where the manipulation kicks in. Rich Paul goes on podcasts trying to twist MJ's scoring dominance into a flaw. He claims MJ's usage made life harder for teammates. That's wild because that problem somehow led to a perfect 6-for-6 finals record.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, LeBron's elite play.
Hold on. Exactly. So how can you even argue Rich Paul must think people are slow. But let me add on to that 6-0. Your man did it with no game 7. He didn't even allow you to get the game 7, bruh. Yo, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop playing, man. Y'all really need to stop playing. Logic doesn't, do you understand? And this happened organically. It wasn't scripted. Oh my God.
Playmaking has ended with 6 finals losses. But the most desperate excuse Clutch keeps pushing is the illegal defense narrative. LeBron loves bringing up zone defense, acting like MJ had wide open lanes every night. That's straight fiction. They want you thinking the 90s were soft because of the rule book while ignoring the Jordan rules. Detroit's entire defensive plan was simple. Hit MJ until he couldn't stand. Rick Mahorn's forearm in your chest. Bill Laimbeer swinging at your head. That was nightly business. There was no freedom of movement back then. No spacing discussions. No whistles for breathing near a star. Yet somehow Rich has the nerve to say MJ had it easier. Illegal defense.
And you know what? People fall for this garbage, man. I don't understand how y'all fall for it. Like you don't have no brain. The light doesn't go off in your head. Like, nah, this ain't right. Even if you wasn't there, do your research, bruh. And just think. It makes no sense with the Continue.
Just meant you had to pretend to guard someone. Hand checking was fully legal. If you drop prime MJ into today's whistle-happy league, he wouldn't just lead the league, he'd average 50 a night. Rich keeps using the word timing to downgrade the 90s, but the truth is that era was a war zone. Pat Riley's Knicks, the Bad Boy Pistons, absolute basketball combat. And MJ didn't survive it. He owned it. Now let's kill the weakest Clutch talking point of them all. The claim that MJ quit in 1993. They try to frame his retirement as weakness or lack of stamina compared to LeBron's 23-year marathon. That just proves they don't understand a winner's mindset. Jordan didn't quit. He finished the mission. He hit the peak, looked around, saw nobody left to beat, and walked away on top. He came back, won 3.
And I don't think he really walked away like that. I think if his father is not murdered, even though somebody pointed out that he had told his father that he was planning to retire or something like, why? Did he get bored? Like, yo, I won 3 in a row. What else is there to prove? I don't got to do this shit. I want to go play golf. Maybe. But I lost my mom. I lost my father. Yo, listen, man. That emotional toll can take you over the edge. And if I could take off a year from doing something that I love, I probably would have did it. Just to process. Y'all are soft, man. Not my audience. I'm just saying in general. You know, these people and even these media personalities. Y'all are goofy and y'all are soft, and I can't wait till you get out of here and we get some real analysts on TV.
More and left again in 98 like it was destiny. LeBron, meanwhile, is still chasing totals deep into his 40s. MJ didn't need 23 seasons to prove anything. He did it in 15. And like MJ reminded Rich Paul in that Miami lounge, you can play as long as you want, but don't disrespect the greatest to ever touch a basketball. Now remember that trick where Rich tries to paint MJ as one-dimensional? He's still doing it. He'll say MJ was just a scorer or just the guy you want for the last shot. That's code language.
I said, yeah, if I'm starting a team, I'm taking LeBron number one. I'm still taking LeBron number one. And I would take MJ to take the last shot.
It's a slick way of saying Mike lacked.
Does that make any sense?
IQ or playmaking. That's where the whiteboard talk falls apart and the real history steps in. Let's rewind to the 1991 NBA Finals. Jordan versus Magic Johnson. The media narrative was the same junk Rich pushes today. MJ is selfish. So what did the so-called selfish scorer do? He averaged 31.2 points, 11.4 assists, and 6.6 rebounds while shooting in a
11.4 assists in the NBA Finals against Magic Johnson, the assist god. Did he average more assists than Magic that Finals? And knowing Jordan, he did that on purpose. Y'all are crazy.
Absurd 55.8% from the field. That wasn't luck. That was Jordan proving on the biggest stage that he could dominate any way he wanted. Let's put this in real perspective. MJ didn't just beat Magic Johnson in the finals. He out-assisted the greatest playmaker ever on the biggest stage. 11.4 assists per game. That part always gets skipped because it wrecks the whole MJ was just a scorer narrative. Rich Paul doesn't want to touch that stat. He'd rather keep doubling down, pushing the same tired line that LeBron is the greatest ever just because he played longer.
But we know who the best player ever is. His name is LeBron James.
And yeah, we all...
Yo, did you look at his face? He don't believe that shit. Yo, you can tell when somebody real. Yo, this is a clown show. This is a clown show.
See what's happening. Real NBA fans can feel it. The 2025 to 2026 media cycle doesn't feel like basketball talk. It feels like a full-blown marketing rollout. The same voices, the same shows, the same talking points, all screaming longevity like it's dominance. There are whispers all over the league about clutch-friendly voices planted in major outlets pushing the accumulation angle nonstop. They want you thinking totals equal greatness. But you can't stack numbers and call it a legacy. That's why the Miami charity moment matters. That wasn't just tension. It was a line in the sand. The era where MJ stayed silent and let the noise slide is over. So here's the real question. Who do you trust? The man who went 6 for 6, never let a finals hit Game 7, and crushed every challenge put in front of him, or an agent who needs a whiteboard, a podcast circuit, and a media tour just to explain why his client should be ranked higher? Back in the 90s, teams had to triple team MJ on the court just to survive. In 2026, Rich Paul has to triple team the media just to keep LeBron in the conversation. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this breakdown hit, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with a real Hoops fan. We're just getting started. See you on the next one.
Right. WhisperWire, he said to share, so I had to do this for you guys, fam, because this was epic. And I don't see anybody talking about this confrontation, bro. Yo, I promise you, Rich Paul and LeBron, they don't want this out, because this was a GOAT press. No cameras, no fanfare. Right? Knowing Mike, he probably wanted to take his big ass hands and see. Remember that photo where he grabbed the pumpkin with his hand? He probably wanted to put his hand around Rich Paul's head and squeeze some sense into his goofy ass. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Listen, get in the comments, y'all, because I can't wait to hear what y'all got to say about this. All right? And if you're new and want to talk organic basketball talk and not media spin, go ahead and subscribe and be part of the family. Till the next video, don't be an imposter. Be safe and God bless.